What is up, everybody? I am Aunty Chardonnay, also known as Sarah Herring, joined by Ana Marquez. We are here at the 888 Poker live in Bucharest at the Intercontinental, which I have to say is fabulous. The lighting, on the other hand, is not so fabulous, but we're just going to keep it going with all the audio. Ana, first of all, we're just going to keep things real simple. What's up, Mario? Good to have you. He's like one of my boys. He always jumps in.
What up, what up?
Let's first talk about your experience so far here in Bucharest. I know that yesterday you busted out in kind of a sad spot. So let's hear all about it. Let's have the tales of the coolers or whatever happened to you.
It was whatever. It's standard, like I flop a set, raise, got call, then got flash away. Nothing else.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, but whatever. It was really fun. It's really fun tournament, so it's fine.
And how would you say, actually, because this is only my second time here in Bucharest, but, there's always this conversation about, like, different style of play from different, nationalities. What would you say so far is your experience with the Romanian poker player?
I guess they're aggressive. In general, they're pretty aggressive. But I don't know. I don't see, like, a big difference. Like, I mean, actually, I've actually played with a lot of Romanians, so maybe that's why I'm more used to their style, but
I'm trying to think, like, Alexandru Papazian, right? Like, he's the sicko, and again, like, really, like, came out of nowhere and was just, like, playing high rollers and bluffing 4-bet, 5-bet, shoving in crazy spots. But I'm trying to think of I think there's quite a few, actually. Like, it's a burgeoning community for sure.
Yeah, and online, and like a lot of old school recs, and like they travel around a lot. So yeah, for sure, there's a big community.
Well, I have a few issues that we need to discuss, but I wanted to welcome Maureen. What's up, my girl? Steven, welcome. Good afternoon, Ron. Hello from Israel. There's a ton of Israelis here. I just had dinner with some last night. We were talking all the good stuff. Are you going to be playing the bounty tonight?
I don't think so. Oh, by the way, you should be here already,
Here we are. Here we are. And there's a ladies event too, apparently, at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think I played today. I don't know. I just want to chill.
Okay, so aggressive in terms of the players. Are we talking more hands or crazy betting?
They play a lot of hands, that's for sure. They play a lot of hands, and I mean, this is general, not all of them are like that, but yeah, they play a lot of hands, and for sure they like to put pressure, so.
I like it. All right, well, what's up, Gigi Fab? Good to see you, girlfriend. Hello. So there was a couple things on your Twitter, and then there's also just a couple little like issues that people have been talking about lately that I'm going to talk about in the podcast, so I think it's relevant to talk about here. One of the things I wanted to ask you about was this rakeless Sunday. So this was kind of an interesting and novel concept. And for those who missed it, kind of like, what's the story? How did it go? Did it change the action at all?
Well, I think it was a great success. So we actually repeated it. Hopefully we keep repeating it. And yes, I mean, who wants rake? So come on, it's amazing.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. And so it's going to be happening again. It's like just randomly, periodically?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I know that we did it, then the success led to more, and I guess like if it's successful, why not keep doing it? But I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, fair. Bayasa? Oh, I like that. We're doing a Facebook Live, so we'll just answer your questions if you have any, and also we have some already pre-asked in questions, which we're getting to as well, and of course I'm going to ask some things in addition. Hello, Luluti and Ron. We got people from France. We got people from all over the world. Ruth, all the ladies are up in here. Good to see you guys. So another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, this is something I want to bring up later on for the podcast, is there's been some question. There was a tweet which basically said that all poker rooms and poker room managers should be welcoming vloggers, that basically like vloggers are their best friends, and that essentially they're promoting the game and they're also promoting the poker room, so they should just figure out ways to make it legal and allow people to just come and just make it less difficult. And then there was, of course, as is always in the poker world, a lot of other opinions, people like going back and forth on one side or the other. And I know you play a lot online, but for the live poker scene, what's your stance? Do you think it's valuable and important that we allow this.
But let me see if we're talking the same thing I read. Is that they if they wanted to allow to get recorded while they were playing live, or
So basically, like if you bring a camera into a
Mhm.
casino, it's like a huge
Yeah,
issue no matter
yeah.
what. So it's basically to create a more, you know, an environment that facilitates being able to bring in your camera and do vlogging, which I would say generally, like I think the vloggers are they're also poker players, so they're very aware of like what's appropriate and
Yeah.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
But I think they've run into a lot of roadblocks because there's a lot of casinos and places I know also because I've like had to go in and get all these crazy insurance
Yeah.
policies and stuff to shoot in there, that a lot of them just like their corporate policy is like you can't have a camera in here. And I think, you know, like we're in an interesting kind of Wild West time now where
Yeah.
like things are changing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think blogging is really cool. I mean, it's attracting more attention to the game, and it's also like making it feel more close to the people that don't know what's going on. You know, so I think it's good for sure. I do see the point of like if you don't want to be recorded, like you shouldn't be recorded, or they should ask for your permission and all this stuff. For sure, I agree with that. I mean, if you're just playing and you didn't sign anything, or you know you don't have to expose yourself to this, for sure. Like I don't agree with that. But if everybody knows what's going on and everybody's happy with it, why not? I mean, let's make poker fun.
Amen, girl. I'm on board. So you just got back from kind of an epic journey, Australia, New Zealand, which everyone knows I'm not that big of a fan of Australia. Sorry, guys. It's Australia is fine, but I did get detained in customs, so I'm never a fan of that. I'm just like, let me through. Jeez Louise. I don't have drugs or anything.
I didn't know.
I wish I did. But yeah, so tell me a little bit about, you know, your experience. What was going on?
I mean, I love Australia. I'm the opposite. I mean, it really sucks that it's so far, but I really love it there. The weather, the casino, the people, everything's nice. Like, and especially there's paleo food everywhere. So I really like it, and every time I'm there, I'm just happy. But unfortunately, this trip I couldn't play so much because I had this problem with my leg. If you've seen the stream from PCA, you can see that I'm playing with my legs up. But yeah, my leg was bothering me a lot, and I actually decided not to play so much. So it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but just being there was amazing. And then I went to New Zealand and I saw a new country. Was in David John's wedding, which was super amazing. Like poker players' weddings are the best.
Dude.
So
Weddings are just the best, and poker players have money, so that's that's fun. And I love New Zealand. It's one of my favorite places I've ever been for sure. Okay, I know I've been out of the shout box for a little bit, guys. So what's up from the UK? Pete, say hello. I I'm not 100% sure. Oh, is the right forearm? Or I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening here. But Robbie Straczynski. Okay, confirm, Robbie, your November 3rd birthday, because we're both November 3rd birthdays, and I was thinking you're also one of them, as is Lynn Gilmatton and Christian Harder and about a million other people. What's up, Troy? You from Tennessee? Is that what you're trying to say? I love it. I love my Southern boys. Oh, I think this is an interesting question because, of course, we're always getting asked, what's it like to be a woman in poker? Which is like such, at this point, it's like, I don't know. But do female poker players get treated differently in different countries?
It's kind of tough to like separate. I mean, I can say that yes, in different nationalities, but when you go to a tournament in another country, you're kind of in an international crowd anyways, and like you're seeing like like it's everywhere is kind of the same, kind of a little bit. Obviously, like there's more people of that country and stuff, but I don't see it so much. I can see it more maybe for nationalities, but I don't notice so much, to be honest.
I've heard this a lot actually, and especially when people are talking about the quote unquote, you know, like sexist behavior or whatever, where like the real answer is that like mostly this is happening at like, you know, your 1-2 games at like casinos where people are not playing all the time or they're not professional poker players. That generally like people who are on the circuit and who are professional poker players are like poker players and they treat you like a poker player.
Yeah, that's true. I think like there's a lot more sexism in like cash game areas than like tournaments. I think tournaments is pretty regulated. They're more used to it. They're more like serious. So I think they're more careful with this stuff. I mean, obviously, we still get like the comments sometimes, like, or like people who underestimate you, or if they don't know that you're a wreck, like maybe sometimes they're like, oh, look what she's doing here. Like, but yeah, I think like you see that more in cash games than tournaments. And it happens, but I don't think I will pin it to a country. I will say more it's just some people think like that, other people don't. And for sure, some nationalities maybe are a little bit more sexist than others, but yeah.
Well, I think you have a reputation which precedes you of being kind of aggressive. And this may or may not be true, but I would say that's your reputation. So do you generally get the sense that people know who you are and are aware of your playing style, or do you still feel like you can kind of fly under the radar for the most part?
I mean, it depends where I go. You know, sometimes like I mean, in the like the more regular tournaments, yeah, people know who I am. I never know like if they know how I play or not. Like I really don't know like what people think about me a lot of the times. Like sometimes I think they think I'm a nit. Other times I think they're like too aggro. Sometimes I think they think I'm bad, or like some people respect me. Like it's really tough to like really know what people think of you. Like in
Like
general.
ever.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah,
But in
okay, yeah,
poker also.
yeah. It's kind of tough, but but yeah, like I think like when they don't know me, they make their first assumption, and then after they play with me for like an hour or so, and if it's a table where they don't know me, I'm for sure gonna be aggressive. So I think they realize pretty fast, like, okay, chill.
Yeah. I just always think that the sort of like meta game of being somebody who's an ambassador or being somebody who's been in the spotlight is interesting, trying to understand who knows and who doesn't know, like your behavior, or who has watched you on the stream with your legs on the table or whatever it is. Okay, first of all, what is up, Tony Burns, my boy from the Seminole Hard Rock? I be missing you. I saw that the guitar-shaped hotel is coming along very nicely, which I'm excited about, and I also miss you. What's up, Jonathan Sanderson from Saskatchewan, Canada? I've been listening to a lot of podcasts from Canada lately. Now I've got that like deep Canada accent. It's a much stronger accent for some people, for sure.
I don't notice it.
Mongolia, like we have a full-on international crowd. I like this, guys. Ron wants to know, what's the poker game of choice to play? Hold'em, Omaha, short deck? Question mark.
Okay, I mean, I've never played short deck, so I have no idea about
What
short
do you
deck.
think about it? There's a bracelet event for short deck now.
I mean, to be honest, since I've never really touched it and I don't have so like it just hasn't been on my radar lately. Like I mean, it's pretty new and I haven't focused on even like looking at the rules, to be honest. Like I have no idea about it. I mean, I'm gonna have to look into it at some point and then I could answer that question. I tell you if I like it or not, but I have no idea. I mean, what I do best is No Limit for sure, and I like it, but I actually am a big fan of mixed games. I think they're really fun, and PLO is nice too. Yeah, it's nice. It's just since it's not my game 100%, like I don't feel so comfortable on it, I guess. But it's also what makes it fun, because like when you're playing Holden all the time, like or No Limit, like it's you want something new. So mixed games are really fun, and I really like to play 8 game because of that. Because like you're changing games all the time, and
Yeah.
like you're challenging your mind again, and it's like learning poker again. And but yeah, I used to play a little bit more. Now I haven't touched them in a little bit longer.
With the 8 game too, it's so crazy because you have some things that are, oh my gosh, you guys, who's calling me? What? You have, I should just ignore it, right?
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk to me, you can come onto my Facebook Live right now. Who is this creepo? Nobody even knows where I am. Okay, that freaks me out. But with the 8 game, it's like things can be so swingy in some of the games, and then other games, it's like so, not a lot of huge changes are going to happen. And so I think it's so tough because you can start, an orbit or whatever. You can start being way ahead and being the chip leader and whatever, and then come back and like by the next time you're playing that hand, it's like, sorry, dude, you have nothing left. But this is something I did want to ask you about short deck, and that you haven't played, but I saw a quote from Rob Young, who I think is, essentially one of the real promoters of the short deck game. And he said, what he really likes about short deck, and of course, let's get real, like some of these Asian billionaires like to gamble, so that's fair on them. But they said really anyone can win on, you know, any given day. And when he said that, I was really thinking how interesting that is, because I think that's the whole theory behind Texas Hold'em too, right?
Yeah,
like on any given day,
say,
anyone can win.
That's what they
but
used to say.
Has it become, do you think that because of all these, you know, not just GTO, but like because of all these solvers and because of all these people who are putting in so many hours, and like conglomerate groups of people that are putting in so many hours on the solvers and sharing with each other, that it is getting to a space where like your average person really doesn't have even close to like any given Sunday probabilities?
I mean, kind of, but to be honest, I think like there's more talk than actually like what's going on. Like, yeah, everybody's talking about PO, GTO, all this stuff. Okay, how many people are actually implementing it right? How many people are actually like sickos with this? Like, I mean, obviously, like if you go to the high roller like environment, yes, they're like the edge is like so small between them, and it's so big compared to like people who have a lower level, you know. But I think there's a lot of fear in the poker world about like, oh my god, the apocalypse is coming, like the game is solved, blah blah blah. I mean, we're not computers, we're still human. Like even if we have all the tools, that doesn't mean that everybody uses them. That doesn't mean that people who use them know how to use them right. And like, I don't know. I think it's, yes, like the game is getting tougher, but like also like you can study more. So it's like I think the game is evolving. The game always evolves. Like every 3 years, the game is completely different, you know. And now we just have more tools.
It's balanced. It's like balanced in some way, and it's super interesting because, well, yeah, I mean, I think that for example, and this is why I like started for a second, but Bryn Kenny, I did an interview with him like 3 or 4 months ago, and he was saying like, I'm just not interested in all the solvers and stuff. You know, I want to understand the math, and you know, I need to understand. Obviously, there's a lot of math that goes involved in it, but he's like, I have a style and a feeling about the way that I play that like that's what feels right to me, and he still can win even with all those sickos. So it's definitely, there's definitely this sense that you have to figure out, you know, what works for you. If you're like a robot, then
I mean, it's also, I mean, like it's more advanced now, but it's kind of a little bit when like poker started getting more information out there, you know, when books started to come out and like the hats and everything. Like this was a long time ago, like 10 years ago, and obviously the game changed. Online changed the game, and yeah, people who had been playing already had to catch up to like beat the new people who had the new tools and everything. I think it's kind of going like this now. I mean, obviously we have better tools and everything, but we're still human, and like I don't know. I think it's fine.
It's interesting. I'm curious about what your thoughts are on sort of the general poker economy, because when I first came into poker was right before Black Friday. I came in like 2010, and for me, when I very first came in, it was like this whole slew, like just a litany of people who were like between 18 and 22, who were all, you know, they've been behind the computer for their whole life. Yeah. And they were super wealthy and yeah, spewing and like these solders and it's interesting because now, having been in it since then, I actually would say that of course there's still a lot of like young great players, but I would say that there's been like a sort of leveling off, in that like a lot of those players that were great 10 years ago are way better than they were and are still in the game, but that it's less frequent to see these like tons of young kids that are fantastic. Like maybe there was a certain kind of like sweet spot or something where a lot of players were really good or good enough or whatever all at the same time at a certain age, and that now it's I just don't see as many. I don't see as many like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that are coming in and just crushing the game.
Okay, you haven't seen them? I don't know. I feel like everybody's so young anyway. Okay.
Well, they're younger than me,
but like, so I'm getting older, so they're all kids, you know.
That's true. I mean, they're definitely younger than me. But I think like for, you know, like Ali Imsirovic is like a young kid, kind of new. Like I remember Dmitry Urbanovich was like pretty young. Like there's kids, of course, who come out, but like a lot of the names that we're seeing, I think at this point at the top of the game, are names we've seen for 10 years already.
Yeah, I mean, Feather is still very little.
That's true. What is he, like 26 now or something?
I don't know. Time flies, man. I have no idea.
But he wasn't even in the game when I came in the game either.
Yeah,
He was like
yeah.
probably, you know, still like in a tricycle or something.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the high roller scene. Maybe.
Yeah,
Because,
that's definitely
I mean,
shifting.
because like when the young kids came or the online kids came, like when I started playing poker and everything, like
there was like no high roll, like a
yeah,
there was
no
like a few high rollers.
I mean, 25K was like the high roller.
Yeah.
You know.
You're right.
And
I remember the first like 100K was like such a big deal,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then now
yeah.
it's like everyone
Yeah.
has one. Yeah.
So I would say that like for sure it was easier for all of us to jump into like high stakes, because high stakes weren't like such high stakes, you know. And like we could like, I mean, also it was easier to make back money back then. Like everything was bigger and like it was softer and like yeah. So obviously like it was easier to make money back then. So getting a role was kind of easy, and then like jumping into high stakes wasn't like such a big deal. Also there was a lot of like stables going on, like backing and stuff. Like I mean,
There's way less of that
well,
now,
because
which is
people have
interesting.
gotten smart, you know, because I mean, we were the first generation of kids jumping into the game. Like I think like before like the online area it was older people, and like we were like young and stupid, like with money, you know, like with it, like it's like what does a 19-year-old 20-year-old kid do with 200K 300K? Like it's gonna spew it away for sure.
Yeah.
Or like keep playing or like make really stupid decisions. And one of the decisions that people were making that were really stupid was backing all their friends.
Yeah.
So I think that's also the reason why you had all these like young kids like playing constantly, like big stakes compared back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, things have changed. I mean, now the young kids are like have gotten smarter. Like they're not so young anymore. They've made their mistakes. They're changing the way they manage everything. I mean, the same thing with health and like meditation and all this stuff, like
For sure.
routines. I mean, when I started playing, we were so unhealthy, you know, and like now we've realized, like, okay, if you want to do this for like the rest of your life, you better take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So-
After you started getting 2-day hangovers, you were like,
Yeah.
okay, enough of this.
Yeah, and having to play for 5 days in a row if you want to win a main, and then like being destroyed, you know, like these things have changed. So I think like the OGs that started, like the young people who we started, like we like change, and now the younger people are seeing us and they're like, okay, this is how you do it. So they kind of have someone to look up, like
Yeah.
that we didn't have back then. Because I mean, the old school players were like a little different from like the online players, like when we started, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I love those players too, but like in a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Banisa, I want to say, thank you. And Alfredo wants to know where we are, which is we are at the 888 Poker Live in Bucharest, which Anna busted just a few hours ago. So we got very, very lucky to take her to my hotel room for a Facebook Live. What's up from the Wisco, Nicholas? I love Wisconsin. For those who don't know, I'm like a huge fan of the Midwest, and I did a couple movies in Wisconsin, and I think it's like such a secret gem. Wisconsin and Michigan, they're like the Malibu of the Midwest. Genti says Daniel Negreanu talk too much, which I don't know. Everyone has their opinions. Oh, good Lord, which there's always like an awesome drama we could talk about with him. But what are your short-term goals for 2019 and maybe some long-term goals?
I have a lot of short-term goals. I mean, I think like I'm trying to learn like to have small goals. Like I'm trying to be like do things little by little. Like I think I always have too much big goals and too much expectations and like too much. And I think, I mean, last year I had a lot of big goals and I actually accomplished like some of them, which is great. But I think it puts too much pressure and I think it's too stressful. So I really want to learn to like go slowly and like little by little and slow down a little bit. Slow down without slowing down. Like just like I mean, I'm always in the search of balance, so just trying to like get better at doing this
Little by little.
little by little.
This is Anna, by the way. Sahil was wondering which one is Anna. It's the one with this sexy accent. Welcome, Jason. What's up, my guy? Gigi agrees with you in terms of how women play, which are get played against, which also shows me how far down, like we are way far behind in the chat because that part of the conversation was like a long ass time ago. Okay, so Bud, Anna is the poker player. I mean, I play poker, but not professionally. So, and Anna Coley joined. Welcome. I honestly like sometimes people say things and I can't figure it out. Will Shilliver, what's up, my boy? Sick ring, thank you. You know that's true. People now are just in the chat catching up with the phone ringing, which I'm still creeped out by. Who was that? What is the longest session you've played in one day, and do you prefer cash or tournaments? Thank you, Ron.
Okay, I mean, me. I thought they were asking. The longest session. I mean, since I'm more of a tournament player than a cash game player, I don't have like any sick long session. I mean, the most long session I've had is probably like in a row, like some Sunday that I started early and finished really late. Or if I go deep in a live tournament, then I have to play like for 5 days or 3 days, 4 days. As cash game, I mean, I did start it as a cash game player, and I did had like the crazy cash game lifestyle back then. I've even slept on the games, you know, like on the underground games.
Oh
Like they had houses, and I was there like the entire time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sleep, and then I come back.
Are you kidding? And they just run the whole time?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I've had sessions like that, like I don't know, I guess like maybe 15 hours or like maybe a little longer, but it was a long time ago, so I don't really remember.
Man, and you have to be so sharp. This brings up another question that I was thinking about in terms of this is something that someone mentioned when we were talking about GTO or solvers in this, in that those type of things are completely different in tournaments and in cash games. And so really the more niche or specialized things become in figuring out, you know, the solvers, then you really, I think, have to become more focused on like one side or the other. But the tournament lifestyle is, I think most people fund themselves primarily with cash, right? And then they take shots at tournaments. So being just a tournament grinder, is that profitable, you think, like overall for people? Do you know that many people who are mostly just playing tournaments?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people. I mean, usually people start. I've seen like people who started with cash games, and I see people who started with sit and goes. And yeah, and I think like I mean, it definitely like everything you do like before tournaments or like everything you pick up always builds like how your game is gonna be. So I feel like, for example, like sit and go players like are pretty good with like short stacking in a tournament, while cash game players are pretty good playing deep. And this is the beauty about tournaments. Like beauty, like I mean, tournaments like put together everything. Like you're gonna be playing deep, you're gonna be playing short, like heads up, like one table, ICM. Like there's so many like
four-handed.
yeah, exactly. And then we have like the different varieties of tournaments and everything. So I mean, I am a huge believer that if you wanna be the best or a good poker or a really good elite poker player, like you have to like dig in all the varieties. Like you cannot just play. I mean, you can for sure, and maybe you can be success. I mean, for sure you can be successful too. But if you're gonna be the best, you should like play different types of tournaments, because they're all gonna teach you something for different types of poker, because they're all gonna teach you something for the tournament. So I don't know, for example, like I've definitely like studied cash games and haven't really played so much cash games, you know. But I mean, or sometimes I like to play like a couple of cash game sessions just to like get hands and then analyze the hands and everything, but like for practice, you know. Like I think it's super important like to just learn all the games. And yeah, I mean, in cash game you use a lot of GTO, and GTO, I think GTO is like a basis, you know. Like if you know GTO, like you're gonna be a better player because you're gonna know both sides. So you start with GTO and then like you expand to exploitative, but like to know where to be exploitative, you should know like how GTO works. So cash games can be good for that, and the same thing with sit angles for short stacking or ICM spots. So yeah.
It makes sense, and you see like players who came from both backgrounds becoming really successful in tournaments or in other like variations or fields. What's up, Miss Gemma? She's the photographer here, so we'll see you downstairs soon. Oh man, I never ask questions about like what to do in certain spots with certain hands because it just doesn't make any sense to do that in this particular format. What's up, Sherry? Kevin says, hi ladies, watching this with my daughter who will be old enough to play in 2 years. Whoop whoop. She's asking, what is the best way to start a bankroll for new players? Please do not say from your dad. Oh, that's funny.
What's the best way to start a bankroll? I mean, I remember playing free rolls when I started. I guess free rolls can be a good idea if you have like zero money. I mean, it's kind of tough to start from zero unless you get lucky. I started with $100 and somehow the first night I ran it to 500 and that was really lucky. But
I think honestly, those like doing some of those tournaments that are, you know, low buy-in tournaments, but where you have a chance to make good money is like the best way to build your very first initial nest egg, you know, I don't know if you can play online or like where you live or what you do, but even for me, like I was just playing like $65 daily tournaments or whatever. But then when you win a few here or there, you have like a good week or something, and then you have like $7,000. It's like more.
And actually I'm a little out of the loop because I didn't even think, I mean, I was thinking of the free rolls, but free rolls are like so tough anyway. But actually, like not even $65, like if you play online you can find dollars for like cents.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying for people who can't play online, but for people who can play online, and even like sit and go, it's like, okay, you can. But tournaments, of course, that's like a much easier way to like get something solid going.
I mean, one thing is for sure, like you will have to grind your rolls. Like you're not gonna jump, like you're not going to, or you shouldn't like jump limits when you're not ready for them and you haven't grinded your roll. Like grinding your roll is so important to make you a good player in the long run. Like you're gonna have so many problems if you don't know how to grind a roll. So it's really important like that you learn how to like go little by little increasing like the roll. But yeah, if you want to start, like just look for the lowest tournaments, have a lot of patience with yourself and like learn the game. And once you learn the game, you will be able to take bigger shots. So.
I love even how you say it. Sometimes because I think English is your second language, you use like so much poker language in your regular language, which I love. But I think like you must know how to grind your roll. It's like somehow I think that's like that will be like on your tombstone. That's a beautiful thing. Oh yeah, everyone's like all about my Midwest love. And okay, Sib says blah blah blah. Ace Queen. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't miss you guys. Do you ever play in Tunica?
No, I don't think so.
Anna's mostly in Europe, right?
I mean, I used to live in America, so I was there. I've been traveling around. Where is Tunica exactly?
Tunica, Missouri? Tunica.
I mean,
it's in the United States.
I've heard it for sure, but I don't think I've played there. I played a lot in the East Coast. I'm a East Coast grinder for sure. And that's where I started playing, in the East Coast. And yeah, California and Vegas, but haven't been.
Okay, guys, we're about to like get out of this, so I'm just gonna make sure to hit all the comments before we go that are key questions. What's your favorite place to play in Europe and why?
In Europe, I don't know. There's a lot of good places. I mean, Barcelona for sure is it's fun. I mean, Spain. I love Spain. I'm from there. and the weather is usually pretty nice. We have the
Anthony really liked you saying grind your roll too. I knew it. That is such a good thing. But okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah, the 888 Live Barcelona is coming now, and it's on really good timing because it's like beginning of the summer. So this one is probably one of my favorites, but I really like Monte Carlo as well. Monte Carlo has a chill vibe, even though it's pretty like preppy and stuff. Where else? I mean, Bucharest is great. My first time coming here was last year, and I fell in love with it. And now that it's good weather, I'm even loving it more. So I definitely really like it here. And let me think, where else? England is always fun, even though the weather sucks. But
And expensive.
yeah, yeah. But the British grinders are cool. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of poker culture in there. So
For sure.
mm,
Sherry, by the way, Tunica's in Mississippi.
oh, okay, sorry.
What did I say?
Missouri?
Yeah, I think I said Missouri, but thinking Mississippi. But come on, get it together. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. Also, okay, we're getting out of the show here quick, but I wanted to say what's up to Mark Kroon, Poker Ho from the Wisco. I don't know if you know Mark Kroon, but he is his online name was Poker Ho, and he has a burger restaurant in Wisconsin. And yeah, he's awesome. I think he did, what was it, like 2 years ago? He went super deep also in the main again for like the millionth time. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for coming into my hotel room. I'm about to like star 69. I don't know what happened back there, but I always appreciate you guys jumping on board. Enjoy your lives. We'll do this again soon. There's going to be a couple more peeps here, so maybe I can get another one with like a Mormon or whoever else is here. But Anna, you're such a doll.
You too.
Deuces, everyone.